Good evening, everyone. Happy Saturday. This is Nitha Ramachandra from the NR Hour Sports Show. This is episode 880, alongside with one of our co-hosts, Vedant from Global Kid Media. We're joined by a really special guest. His name is Dom Curry, a former NFL wide receiver. He also played in the Arena Football League, and also now he's a middle school teacher. He's a wide receivers coach at St. Joe's Prep High School. So really looking forward to this interview, Dom. Thanks for joining the show. Obviously, football is back, coming back soon, and how are you and your family doing?
We're doing good, man. We're excited about football. My oldest son, he's playing youth football. My middle son, he's playing youth football. So just to see them guys go out and play, see them practice, see them growing up as kids, it's amazing to me. And then just to see, where our program as far as St. Joe's Prep have going on. So I'm excited about football.
Yeah, I guess I'll start. You were obviously a three-sport athlete in high school and really could have gone in any direction, and a star at that in all three of those sports. At what point did you know it was going to be football?
When I was in college, I ran track in college, played basketball, and then I played football in college. And as far as track, I'm not the fastest. I know that. I can't be fast. So that I've been realized that track is not my sport. I did it so I can get faster. But with basketball, it was just more so of me really being real with myself. A lot of people would say I should have stuck with basketball, but I'm like, listen, I play like a 3-4 type position, and I'm only 6'3". You don't see any 6'3" power forwards in the NBA,
Right.
So around that time, I realized like basketball may not be my sport, obviously because I can't guard people like Chris Paul and Steph Curry. So I realized, you know what, football might be it. Football, I can show my athleticism, and then I can hit people back. So that's when I decided to stick with football.
So speaking of, when you chose football, obviously in high school, did you get to play multiple positions other than receiver and like defensive back, defense? What did you learn in high school as a football player and before settling on wide receiver? And did you have any like role models growing up?
So in high school, I played wide receiver, tight end, and I played the outside linebacker and defensive end position. Because when I ran wing T, that's back in the day. So we ran wing T. We really didn't have wide receivers. But outside of that, when I got to college, I did play some snaps at defensive end, and I actually went up against Jyree Evans, and it made me realize that defensive end wasn't for me. So when I went up against him, I realized, you know what? Let me just stick out wide at receiver. And as far as my role model, it was Jerry Rice, Moss, Chris Carter. The reason why Jerry Rice was my main role model was because of his preparation for the game. The way he had like that MJ mentality. He tried to make sure that he outworked everybody, not only the people at his position, but obviously the people that he went up against. So that's my role model.
Yeah, let's fast forward a couple years. Now you're kind of a big star in the NFL and having been a big star through college, and now you're someone that people look up to. What advice do you give to those younger people come up to you and say, I look up to you, I want to be like you one day?
I tell them not to give up. And I say that because coming from Cheney, we didn't have a good football program. We was terrible. I won maybe 5-6 games in my career at Cheney. So it was just more so of me constantly pushing through. There were hundreds of people that said, man, nobody ever's going to make it from Cheney. And I just kept saying, okay, if you say so, but I just made sure that whenever it was the summertime, I took summer classes to make sure I could stay on campus, to stay away from all the nonsense. I used to run, lift, shoot basketball, do basketball workouts, football workouts. I used to swim. People don't know how much hard work I really put into getting to this level, but it's not just simply just running around catching football. Like I've been doing this since I was 14 years old, swimming in the morning at the YMCA. Then I go shoot basketball. Then I go lift. Then I'll play in a basketball league, and then I'll have football practice. Like my summers was crazy for me, and it paid off in the end.
So I'm just curious, when you went through your college recruitment process, obviously you went to college in California. Did the teams that were interested in you or that offered you a scholarship, did they look at you strictly as a receiver, or did they look at you as a defensive player too, like a versatile player when you did the recruiting process?
So I was highly recruited as a defensive end.
Okay.
One D1 school did really give me a shot, which was Hofstra University.
Yeah.
That's the same school that Marquise Colston went to.
Yeah.
So when I was getting recruited by them, the whole coaching staff ended up leaving the school. So as far as on the offensive side of the ball, that was the only D1 school was looking at me at wide receiver. I had Townsend offer me a scholarship at defensive end. I even was in talks with Wisconsin, but it was at the tight end position. I wish I knew what I knew now, because the tight end position should have been my spot coming college. But
Yeah.
I just was so set on playing wide receiver.
You go undrafted, and that puts a chip on your shoulder for the rest of your career. That gives you something to work everyone out for. What was your mindset after going undrafted and, having to work your way up? I'm sure you had an idea, coming into the draft where you were going to stand, but, having going undrafted, that puts a lot, on you to have a great career anyways.
Yeah, I actually was working. I was working at LA Fitness, the draft back in 2010. I had a job. I had to provide for my son. I just had a son at that year. So I wasn't really football wasn't my focus anymore, because because I graduated from Cheney, and then I went to California University of Pennsylvania for a semester. Really didn't play up there. It was a lot going on. I was battling injuries, so I really didn't have the type of year that I should have had. And while I was at work at LA Fitness, I got a phone call from Coach Cromwell from the Rams. And I talked to him for about an hour and a half. He gave me about 25 plays to study. And then I went down there in a week and a half and then just balled out.
Oh, that's amazing. That's an interesting story right there. And I love stories like that where, for example, if I do, I'm going to go baseball terms here real quick. We have a pitcher on the Yankees named Steven Ryden. He was a substitute teacher last year. And this year he got called by the Yankees to pitch for them this year. So it's kind of like, I like these type of stories, interesting stories. But for you, when you went to the Rams training camp, and obviously learning the playbook could be a little tough, but for you, how long did it take for you to adjust to the playbook and learning from players like you play with Tebow, Austin, Steven Jackson? What was it like playing with those type of players too in the Rams?
Adjusting to the playbook was very difficult for me, just coming from such a small school. We didn't have that type of complex, and I mean, it's the playbook was very, very large. Like it felt like it was a binder about this size, and it was something where you just studied every night, study every break, study. It was just football all day, every day football.
Yeah.
But just having people like Steven Jackson that you could talk to, he'll give you any type of pointers that he could. Brandon Gibson, he was the guy when I got there. Brandon LaFell, not Brandon LaFell. Well, in Carolina.
Brian Quick.
That was the year after me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the year after me. I was there one of my first year. I had players like Brandon Gibson. I had Laurent Robinson.
Tavon Austin. Yeah.
Right. That was after me.
Oh, after. Okay.
Yeah, he came the year after me. I had Danny Amendola.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, he was on the team, and he ended up getting hurt. But it was Donnie Avery. Donnie Avery was on the team with us. But it was just fun to just talk to those guys, man, because by me not coming from a big school, I looked up to these guys that I was sitting next to in the locker room, and Coach Cromwell had to let me know, like, man, just relax. If we didn't think that you could play on this level, we wouldn't ask you to be out here. So I was kind of like starstruck my first time in the locker room because I'm naming guys that I see on TV all the time, and he just was like, man, just relax, make plays, and that's what I did.
Man, third week of the season in 2010, you block a punt. That's I guess one of the big moments for you, upon entering the NFL. How did that feel? And I know a little bit later you suffered that ACL injury, but for that moment to finally be able to show yourself, which I'm sure you knew that you could compete at the NFL level, but to finally make a play like that.
Man, it was amazing. It was amazing just because of what I did, but I was playing against one of my childhood favorite quarterbacks, which is Donovan McNabb, because I grew up a fan. So I was actually playing against him, so I was kind of hyped up on that. But leading up to that actual moment, the first game of the season, I didn't dress. I didn't know that they didn't dress all the players. I'm hyped. And when I warmed up. When I came back in the locker room, they was like, "Yeah, you're down." They gave me a sweatsuit. I'm like, "Nah, what you give me a sweatsuit for? I need my shoulder pads." He was like, "Nah, you don't dress." And then that's when I found out that they didn't dress all 53. They dressed 49. So yeah, after that, we just kind of had a series of ACL injuries. After Donnie Avery suffered his ACL, Josh Hall suffered his, and Chamberlain, I think he either did that or he messed up his shoulder. And then they didn't bring me up, but they dressed me. And my first actual game was the second game of the season against the Raiders. I did okay. But leading up to this game, I was getting more reps on offense. They put a red zone package in for me because I was really having like a solid week of practice, catching the ball, route running. But I also was tired because we didn't have that many practice players. So I was doing reps with the first team. I was doing scout team reps for the defense, and I was doing some reps at defensive back. And I was on all phases of special teams. So that whole week for me was very, very strenuous. And I did feel tired going into that game. And then after I blocked the punt, I just had this high moment where I'm just amped up. I'm ready to, catch a touchdown. And then 2 plays later, I tear my ACL. So, but yeah.
That is crazy. But after the Rams, you went to the Lions, Detroit Lions, 2012, and you guys have played with Nate Burleson if he was there still, and also you played with Megatron too. You learned from Megatron and Calvin Johnson. What was it like going from the Rams to the Lions and getting to play with like more great players throughout your career?
I would say more so the names in the locker room, because we didn't have names like Nate and CJ in St. Louis, but it was also just the art of being a receiver. I learned so much at that receiver position up in Detroit just from having our wide receiver coach OG, having Nate there that you could always just talk to, having CJ there, which you could just ask him any question. He would stop what he's doing and he would answer. He would help you out. Really helped me come a long way with like reading the coverages a little bit better, how I could set my routes up as being a big receiver. So I learned a lot from being up there, and even having Stafford up there. Like he just a beast, man. He's a beast. That's all I can say. Like having him up there, he's a beast. Yeah. Pettigrew at the tight end position. Like I was able to like really gravitate to all these guys where they would help me out with my routes, help me out with reading coverages and understanding the concept of the offense. So it was amazing.
And now Stafford is with your other former team now, the Rams.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, I'm all for it.
Man, Megatron just got inducted, obviously, to the Hall of Fame a couple of weeks ago. Were you out there in Canton? And if not, how excited were you for him?
No, I wasn't out there in Canton, but I did reach out to him, say congratulations. It's a surreal moment because it just shows what he put into his craft. As a receiver, especially in Detroit, I was always trying to make myself the first wide receiver into the weight room because I was always one of the biggest. So I really took it serious in the weight room, and I realized how great he was when I was the first receiver to walk in the weight room, but he was actually finished his workout when I came in. So we had workouts at 7 a.m. I walk in to get my stretch on. He walking out at 6:50 with a weight vest and a full-blown sweat. So that just goes to show, like, when he wake up, it was football. When he go to sleep, it was football. Everything was just football for him. So people don't realize how much he put into his craft. I mean, seeing him practice with messed up hands, broken fingers, messed up foot, and he's still in practice diving for passes. Like it wasn't about the money for him. It was really his passion.
I grew up watching Megatron, and I live here in Michigan, and I remember watching his speech. I was actually out there in Canton, so definitely really cool to watch you guys when I was younger and still see the success and that special that team was.
Yeah, it was a pretty good team because we had Reggie Bush as well.
Yeah.
We had some fun, a lot of electricity. But it's it's the way of the game. Some great can't really win it. Some bad teams can win it. You know, it's all about the chemistry and how well you prepare and game plan for each game.
Yeah, Nate Burleson was on the show last year, and it was great to talk to him, and such an honor. But for you, obviously, I'm just curious. Also, you spent time with the Panthers, but did you get any other offers before going to the Arena Football League? Because I feel like this is where your career started to explode. You were, in my opinion, you were one of the best arena football players I've seen, and your career exploded when you started there. But did you get any other offers from the NFL teams before you went to arena football?
I was in talks with like the Seahawks, and I had plenty of tryouts with the Patriots, tryouts with the Buccaneers, but it just, I had switched positions and I had moved to tight end, and I think that was something that was a bad decision on my part, because every team that I did go to as a tight end, I was always the shortest and the lightest, and going to a team like Carolina, they run the ball a lot, so me being short and light wasn't cutting it for them. I mean, they had me lining up in the backfield, lead blocking on loop, and that's not me. That's not me. I'm cool. Solo blocking on the defensive ends, nah. That's those grown men over there. They 290. I was 235.
Oh my god.
That's when I realized it wasn't tight end ain't for me.
Even during the Arena Football League, did you ever get any more offers, any more conversations with different teams? And was that something you considered coming back?
Yeah, I consider going back, just because I felt like I really couldn't show what I could do at the receiver position, just because of my first year. I tore my ACL. And actually my second year, I broke a bone. I broke my fourth metacarpal. So I played the first 10 games in the cast. A lot of people don't know that, but I played the first 10 games of my second season in the cast. And going into arena, I mean, I caught a lot of touchdowns. I had a lot of fun. I could even did more. It just was that team. They really didn't. I was an arena football rookie, and they wasn't really high on like rookies in the arena. So they kind of held me on the shelf for a couple games. And even after that, I just was making plays on offense, defense, catching interceptions, making tackles, forcing fumbles, covering fumbles. I really had fun. And I didn't have an NFL team not after that, but I did have a couple Canadian teams reach out to me. But at that point in my career, I just kind of was like, you know what, I'm ready to just be around my family. So I kind of wind down.
Man, I think you're the Shohei Ohtani of Arena Football League.
I mean, it was fun, man. I had a lot of touchdowns, a lot of catches, a little bit of catches, but it was really fun. Because I like having the ability to like dance after you score a touchdown. It was like some games I had 4, so it was a lot of dancing. And then I played defense. I was playing linebacker, so I was smashing people, getting tackles, forcing fumbles. Like it was fun, man. It was like schoolyard ball with me.
Yeah, no, I brought up Shohei. You know Shohei Ohtani, the two-way player in baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you remind me of him because you played defense and offense at the same time in arena. That's kind of crazy.
That's Iron Man football, man. You got both. Iron Man football. That's how arena was.
Yeah.
I wanted to point out that the three of us share a birthday this past Monday. So
yeah.
Oh, y'all 16 too?
Yeah, let's go.
Oh man, that's crazy. It's the greatest day ever, ain't it? Yeah.
It sure is. You're still young enough. You're 34 years young to be able to still play in at some level. Is that something you're considering still, or is the playing days over?
Playing days are over, man. My body, honestly, my body's beat up from football. Shoulder problems, back problems, knee problems, hand problems. I'm still going through it. I actually before COVID, I was weighing about I was like 274. But you couldn't tell because I was still in the gym, but I was probably the strongest at my strongest point. I mean, 315, 330 was nothing to me. And I didn't realize it, but when I stepped on the scale, seeing my body fat percentage, I had to make a change. And I realized like every morning I would have to sit on the edge of my bed because my back is hurting, my ankle is aching. Like I'm going through it. Yeah. So I ended up losing weight. I lost about 35, well, not 35, about 30 pounds, around 25 to 30 pounds since then.
Oh, wow.
And I feel a lot better, but I'm not to where I need to be.
Yeah.
Like, I still need surgery on my knee. So, yeah, I'm beat up.
Follow up on that, Tim Tebow obviously just had been waived by the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he tried to come back as a tight end. He looked big, he looked the part, but of course there's film on him, and it's a whole different ball game in the NFL. What are your thoughts on that situation and his performance here? Of course, it takes a lot for him to be able to come back at all and get in that shape, but still not enough.
Yeah, first, Tebow is an exceptional athlete. Like, I mean, we all see what we did at Florida when he went, even when he was up in Denver. Like, he's an exceptional athlete. He's a winner. But what people don't understand is the difficulty of the tight end position.
Right.
It's not something easy. I say on offense, outside of the center and quarterback position, that is the toughest position, because you have to know your tight end routes, you have to know your receiver routes, and you have to know the routes from the backfield. Not only that, you have to know the pass blocking checks from the inline, and you have to know how to pass block from the backfield position. So it's not something that anybody could just jump into. I had to see that for myself. But coming from a quarterback position to a tight end position, that is not easy, especially in the NFL. It's not. I'm pretty sure he had no problem remembering the plays, but it's a whole different ball game when you got men that's 300 pounds and you got a double team. Guy, defensive ends that's 6'7", and you gotta scoop block. Like, it's a whole different ball game, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of those injuries, take us through the process. How obviously you overcame a lot of adversity with these injuries, and was it tough playing in a cast in football? I didn't know you can play in a cast, but for you, was it tough playing in a cast, and how did you overcome that adversity?
Yeah, man, it was super tough because I'm a receiver.
Yeah.
I couldn't catch the ball, so it made it very difficult. I had 2 fingers exposed because I broke my 4th metacarpal, so that's like around my pinky, and it just was tough, man, because I really couldn't do certain things, and I wanted to play receiver. And I think by me breaking my hand the way I did, it also kind of moved me into just a special teams player. Because that's literally the only thing that I could do for the first 10, 11 games. And the way I broke it, it was crazy because it was a run play. It happened in camp. It happened the first week of camp. It was a run play. And one thing about the run play, like as going into my veteran year, I had to learn how to practice. So it wasn't always about physicality from the receiver position. So it was also about understanding angles. So if it's a run play on the backside, we was really just making sure that we was in the right position to make sure that we could make a block. And I really didn't have problems with blocking, especially against the DBs, because I was always bigger than them. So this one particular play, I just got in position to just make sure I'm on camera, showing that I know what I'm doing. And I had this rookie DB, he tried to like bulldoze me, and my hand got caught in his face mask. Yeah, it was crazy. So, yeah, it sucked, but I was able to still stay on the team and just play with the cast. It was tough, but I was able to finish the season out.
So what do you think players and these trainers need to do to change up their training routine, or what do you think they need to do so they don't get hurt in preseason?
Players need to change their habits. Not everyone eats good, so we got to think about understanding what we put in our body. Making sure that we're completely hydrated, make sure that we're stretching properly, and then continuing to work leading up to training camp.
Yeah.
Also, I think with eliminating that true second practice, it seems like that's taking a toll on a lot of guys with these type of injuries, because when I played, we had hardcore 2-a-days. And we were tired, but for some reason, once they eliminated that second practice, there were a lot of guys tearing ACLs with those type of injuries. So just taking care of your body. It's a lot of places with turf, so a lot of times that turf don't give. At least grass will give. You don't see too many torn ACLs on grass, but that turf is different.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I play JV football. I play quarterback, and I prefer grass over turf. I'm curious, what advice do you have for other young athletes, young football players about, what they need to do to get to that next level or even just to improve?
I would say be real with yourself. So with me coaching, the one thing I would never do is I would never tell a player that they can't do something. I've coached guys that just want to go Division I. You don't hear me say that you can't go Division I, but I would say, are you putting in the work to go Division I? Mm-hmm. If you're not putting in that work, if you're not studying film, if you're not putting in that extra work when the camera's not on you, are you doing enough to go Division I? So if someone say they want to make it to the NFL, are you doing enough? You want to make it to the NBA? Are you doing enough? Because there's hundreds of thousands of players out there that want that spot. Until you realize how few people make it, I mean, it's 1%. Is 1% of athletes that become NFL players. So it goes to show that there's a lot. It's over 300 schools out there. It's over 300 Division I schools, not even counting Division II or Division III. Not counting the guys that may have been cut, not counting the guys that haven't played college football. Like, there's hundreds and thousands of players out there. So you got to make sure that you find a way to stand out. And when I found my way to stand out, it helped me out. Helped me out a lot.
Yeah. So speaking of, so after your football career, now you're transitioning. Obviously, you're a middle school teacher, and now you're a wide receiver coach at St. Joe's Prep. So what's it like helping out these kids, especially on the academic side and also on the sports side, and trying to make them better persons off the field, on the field, and also in the classroom?
I love it because when it comes to the school I teach at, I teach at a school that I grew up around. So I'm from North Philly, and the neighborhood is really bad. Like right now, we are going through a crisis when it comes to gun violence. So when I had the opportunity to work in that school, I felt like having a positive male role model for these young African-American boys is something good. And within my first week, I noticed the change because we used to do something where you have to show appreciation towards any teacher. Yeah. And like my inbox flooded, and it was just from thank you for being here. Like, they get to see me in the flesh and realize like NFL players are normal people. There's plenty of NFL players out there that are teachers and coaches, but we're not on that spotlight anymore. And with them being able to see me and see what I've done, see me get my master's degree, I'm a doctoral candidate. I'm doing this not only for myself and my family, but to just show like there's other things outside of sports, because at some point they can be taken away from you. So what are you doing to make yourself better all around, not only physically, but educationally, mentally? So being in the neighborhood I grew up in, I see families that I know. I'm teaching kids that I'm friends with their parents. I went to school with their aunts and uncles. So with now that they see me and they're able to go back to their people and say, yeah, Mr. Curry, my teacher, it just shows like just me being there alone is making an impact for these students.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that's real inspirational to see what you're doing there. I'm by Flint, Michigan, and not too far from Detroit area. And you see the impact that Flintstones have, obviously, in the NBA, in the NFL, there's a lot of stars come out of here. And when they come back and speak, it's truly inspirational. So that's awesome what you're doing there. What goals do you have next? Like, what's next for you? Do you have any big plans or any projects you're working on right now simultaneously with that?
Yeah, I'm trying to finish my doctorate degree, get my DBA, which is Doctorate in Business Administration. But with coaching and family, my kids kind of starting to play football, they're taking up a lot of my time. So I put my education on the back burner for now, but I plan on making sure that I graduate before I turn 40. So I got 6 years. I have a year down, so I definitely can make that. And then also, I'm trying to start a gun violence, gun prevention program in Philly. I'm in talks with Swift's dad, Darren Swift. Swift from up in Swift from up in Detroit. Yeah. I'm in talks with his dad. We're trying to make this happen, man, because we're both from the hood in Philly, and we know and we're seeing what's happening to these kids. It's a lot of high school athletes that are being killed. It's a lot of innocent people. We just had an innocent young lady get killed shooting basketball at the park. Wow. So seeing these things, we're trying to really put this up and get this out there because the city needs it. Yeah. So outside of that, just I have I'm in Me and myself and one of my old teammates, Marquise, we have a trucking business, and then I just have a photo booth business. I just like fun, so the photo booth is pretty cool because you can just go to parties, man, and set it up.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Hey, if you guys need help with that, I'm in Jersey, so I'm a 55-minute drive away from. So if you guys need help, I'm in.
Hey, I'm in.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Vedant's in too. So, and our whole team is in too. And actually, quick story. My friend Kia, who's also part of the team, me and her went to an in-person event I think it was last month, and we met DeAndre Swift in person. And he's awesome.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Great family.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd love to have his dad on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might not have enough screen, man. He a big guy, man. He showed people out in the gym.
Yeah. So, so as a coach and a teacher with school coming back soon, obviously, I don't know with the protocols in the classroom if kids have to wear masks still, but what are you guys most looking for? What are you most looking forward to as a coach and then as a teacher? And how do you balance that out, by the way, when season starts and when classroom starts?
It's actually tough because sometimes when I'm getting my breaks and teaching, I'm actually watching football. Okay. So it's been a couple of times where I'm in professional development meetings and I got Huddle on my screen on my phone. So yeah, I'm a straight coach, but I can't hide it. But with having the kids come back, we definitely have to follow the protocol. So we're masked up in the classroom. And it's a little different for the kids because some of these kids need like fist bumps, some of them need handshakes, some need hugs because they're not really receiving that from their family. Right. So having that in the classroom and now it's eliminated where you kind of just everything is just like a fist bump. Some kids are not really understanding how to accept that, but they also understand. And then from coach, the way I balance it out is honestly I don't know. I can't even say because we practice 6 a.m. So I'm up early. Well, technically 5:45. So I'm up early and then I go from there straight to teaching. And then after teaching, I go pick my sons up and take them to football. So my days are always hectic. I'm just used to it.
Man, that's part of the grind. That's what it's all about. I can relate to the huddle screen constantly up and trying to learn there.
You know.
Yes, sir. I want to know, it sounds like obviously you always wanted to be a receiver, always wanted to stay a receiver. I'm just curious, what's your favorite route?
Oh, man. My favorite route is it's the fade route, man, because I'm a basketball player. So I got a quick funny story for you. So when we was in rookie mini camp, we had red zone day. So we're doing red zone day. And quarterback Thaddeus Lewis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that he was the quarterback. He came out of Duke. He was the quarterback during that time in St. Louis. And it was red zone day. So I was in the huddle with him and he started to call the play. Then he stopped. I have a basketball tattoo on my arm. And he was like, yo, you know how to hoop? I was like, yeah. He said, can you dunk? I said, yeah. He said, all right, I'm about to throw you this fade route. I said, all right. And he tossed it up.
Wow.
That I had to go up and get it. But I'm gonna say the fade route, man, that was my specialty because I just climb up that ladder.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so now we do this fun little segment on the show. It's called the rapid fire segment. You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Kawhi Leonard's laugh or Kevin Hart's laugh?
Oh, I can hear you.
Oh, Kawhi Leonard's laugh or Kevin Hart's laugh?
Kawhi.
What's your favorite quarterback you've ever played with?
Stafford.
So I don't know if you heard about the Terrell Owens story. I heard that he wants to come back in the league. Do you think he still got it, Terrell Owens?
T.O. never going to lose it, man. He still got it.
Man, who is the current player, maybe in the NFL right now, let's say a young guy, who you would say plays the most like you used to play?
Ooh, that's a tough one. That's something that got me thinking a little bit. You got me stumped right there. If I could go with anybody, I'll say Claypool.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
physical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was your most memorable game in the NFL and Arena Football League?
The NFL is when I blocked the punt
Mm-hmm.
because that was a highlight of my career and the low of my career. So that's my favorite game. In arena football, I'm going to say the first game I ever played because I had like a quarter interception, had it score my first touchdown, had my first catch. So the very first game.
I'm curious, between that block punt and then that injury, like 2 plays later, was there like a celebration going on in the play in between? What happened in that play in between?
I was hyped because, like I was telling you, they put a package in for me, and it was a red zone package. It was really a red zone package where I catch a lob, catch a oop. We called it that, but basically catch a fade route. And it sucks because the very next play after the block punt, we threw an interception. So I didn't get a chance to go out there for that package, for that special package. But the celebration was short-lived because of that. And then next thing you know, we back on special teams, and I just was running straight. Nobody didn't get hit, didn't get touched.
Yeah, so you like you said earlier, you grew up an Eagles fan, and you're gonna like this. We had Donovan McNabb on the show, and we also had Trent Cole on the show. So what would you say? What would you say your most memorable memory that you watched that you went to an Eagle game, or what was your most memorable Eagle game that you watched?
The most memorable Eagles game I watched was 4th and 26, man. Freddie Mitchell. That was one for the ages. And then I would say that was one growing up, but in my adult life, man, it was a Super Bowl. Like I was with friends, and when I say it had people in the house, tears in their eyes, like people was legit crying when the Eagles won a Super Bowl. So those two are neck and neck. Those two are neck and neck for me.
Were you in the city that night?
Yeah, but I actually didn't go downtown.
Oh, okay.
I didn't go downtown. Yeah, I stayed away from downtown that night.
Yeah.
I was mad. Yeah, I was mad I didn't go downtown.
Did you have tears in your eyes?
What'd you say?
I said, did you have tears in your eyes?
Yeah, of course. Because it just meant so much, especially with Carson going down.
Yeah.
Like I'm a diehard Eagles fan. Even though I played, even while I was playing, like I was rooting for the Eagles unless we played them. But like that Eagle blood is not going anywhere. So to see that, it was just amazing. It was amazing. And to know some of the guys on the team, I was just super excited for them to win it.
Yeah, the reason I asked is because Calvin Johnson's speech, the little "I ain't crying."
Yeah, I ain't crying. Yeah, you got man up.
Yeah. So, Dom, you're gonna hate this because I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Man.
No, sorry. What are your thoughts on CeeDee Lamb?
First, you need to change your birthday because you're a Cowboy. You can't have an August 16th birthday and be a Cowboy. You got to do that first. But CeeDee Lamb, his routes are amazing, man. He's very fluid when it comes to moving. Like it's nothing is mechanical. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but he has very good hips. He has very good pad level. He has good hands. His burst from his routes. He's an exceptional player.
Who's your favorite young player right now, young wide receiver in the NFL? Who would you say your favorite is?
I'm gonna say Judy, man. Judy, his routes are unbelievable. He can go. He can play.
So do you all right? Going to the NBA. What are your thoughts? What was your thoughts when the Bucks won the championship?
I was kind of upset at first because I thought it should have been the Sixers in there, but yeah, I mean, my man wouldn't shoot the ball. It hurt my heart. He wouldn't shoot the ball, but I'm excited that the Bucks win. I wish Chris Paul won it.
Yeah.
But the Bucks have been putting the work, and they've been building for the past 3, 4, 5 years. So it was exciting to see them.
Yeah, I was actually out there in Milwaukee and caught some fan interviews. There was 100,000 people in the Deer District, and it was a crazy environment. I've actually interviewed Giannis and Coach Budenholzer, so I'm happy for them to be able to do that. I had another question about football. The Lions right now have, not the greatest receiving corps What are your thoughts there? What are the pieces they need to be able to have a successful offense this year?
They just need to be able to complement each other. They do have a strong backfield, and with having that, it helps out at being a receiver because that's where a lot of concentration should go, as far as the backfield. But it's just finding the pieces, finding the right pieces. Sometimes when you go after names, that may not be the right piece. But I think Detroit is going to pull it together. Hopefully, I'm able to come up to some games.
Yeah.
Yeah, they send me some tickets every year, so
Oh, nice.
I just need to have my time. Once I got my time available, depending on what I got going in high school, I'm gonna come up there.
Um, so what is the scouting report on your sons?
All right. My scouting report on my son. He has very, very good hands. He has great hands. And he's more explosive than what he looks, but his elusiveness is not that good. But that's something we're working on. He's young. So being able to have some yards after catch, we're working on that. But just to see his development over time, like it's amazing.
Is he beating dad yet?
Oh no. I told all my sons, they'll never beat me. They'll never win against me. I played my dad in basketball one time in my life, and he beat me by 1 point.
Wow.
And he told me he said, I will never play you again. You will never beat me in your life. So my kids will never beat me.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you, since you're a Sixers fan, do you think Damian Lillard will end up in Philly soon?
I'm praying, man. It's that time. It's time. Dame time in Philly, man. I hope it happens.
Where do you think Ben Simmons lands?
I think
I don't know.
I think he ends up in that package if you get Dame.
Yeah, my thing with Ben is he's an exceptional player. Like his talent is through the roof, but it's something. It's with confidence. Especially in basketball, when you miss a couple shots, your confidence going, and you really start second guessing those shots. And I think just having him work with the right shooting coach and get that confidence back. We're not asking him to make 7 threes a game. We just need him to develop some form of shot so that way it makes it easier for him to be guarded. Well, it makes it easier for him to score because having him at that height coming off of picks and rolls, the defense could just go under. So now we're clogging the paint up. And if he can't get there, it's like you got to just stop and pop, but he won't shoot it. So it just makes his game easier. It'll make him obviously average more points, and it'll be tougher to game plan against the Sixers if he just developed a 15 to 18-foot jump shot.
So, how are you a yeller in practice in the games or laid back kind of coach?
I'm laid back, man. I'm the cool coach. I gotta look fly, man. I gotta make sure my sneaks is right. But if I have to, I'm gonna yell now. But I'm gonna be looking real fly yelling. Got my Nike shades on, So yeah, I'm the cool, calm coach.
The one everyone wants. What are your thoughts on this year's season? Who do you think is going to be that team in the NFL that's going to go deeper? Kind of give me your top few teams.
It's always the Chiefs and the Bucks right now, just because whatever team Tom goes to, that's who always going to be in the top. But I think people are going to sleep on Green Bay and Seattle. I think people are going to sleep on them, and also the Rams.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Those teams are going to be slept on, just because I don't know why, but the Rams going to have explosive offense.
Matthew Stafford being there, it's amazing. Deshaun Jackson back over there too. This is gonna be insane.
Yep.
What do you think, the Rams won the trade or the Lions won the trade?
I feel like they both won it, but I'm gonna say more so the Rams won it just because of how well Stafford fit in with having those type of weapons already there, and then adding Deshaun Jackson. So that actually helped him out more because it's not a rebuilding year for them. He's going right in there, and he has legit weapons. Cooper Kupp is out of this world. Like he can go, and then you got Deshaun, he can go. So.
Before we get to the last two things, do you think Jalen Hurts is the future in Philly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. He just need a shot. That's all.
So the last few things here before we let you go, and our team is part of this foundation. It's called the Hugh Jackson Foundation, and we're trying. He's a former NFL coach, and now he's the offensive coordinator at Tennessee State with Eddie George. We're trying to help him prevent human trafficking, making sure the community stays safe and the kids stay safe. And we'll send you the foundation so you can go check it out.
No problem.
Yeah. And the last thing here, would you like to say anything to all the nurses, doctors, and essential workers right now?
Yeah, thank you for all your help. Thank you for keeping us safe, because what's going on is very real, and y'all have eased a lot of people's minds. I have family that battle COVID. I've had family in the hospital around this time, and not only that, I have family members that are police officers, that are firefighters. So just seeing how y'all go to work day in, day out, no matter what the situation is. You don't run from danger, you run to it. So I just take my hat off to you guys and just keeping us safe.
Yeah, well said. And there it is. That wraps up episode 880 with former NFL and Arena Football League receiver Dom Curry. Now he's a middle school teacher and a wide receivers coach. Man, this is truly an honor to have you on the show today. What an amazing interview, getting to know you. And it was awesome. And thank you for coming on the show. We would like to have you back as a returning guest at some point so you can meet the full team, but keep up the great work. And if you need help with this with the thing you're doing right now with DeAndre Swift, we're down, and we can help in any way. And but keep up the great work, and thank you again.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, man.